Good evening, Pirshus, Rabbanim Achshuvim, all of the Musmachim. I have to say that it is extremely impressive and humbling to be in this crowd, to be one of many who have dedicated some time to learning, and to be able to celebrate with all of you whatever it is that you are completing. And Maskifin, Haschala Lahashlama, wherever you're going to go from here, certainly Mechayil El Chayil, it is a great honor and a privilege to be amongst you. When I was thinking about what I'm going to say, I laughed to myself, I chuckled to myself a little bit, because a few years ago, I would not have imagined myself being one of the Mesaimim, having gone through the year and a half of learning Hilchas Nida. It was, I was, as he said, as Rabbi Willem said, what some would call a busy shliach, and I thought my day was full, but not everything always goes as planned. You know, just to give a little bit about myself, we moved to Tom's River on Shlichus a little over 20 years ago, and at the time, it was a little New Jersey town. It was near Lakewood. For those who are familiar with Sefer HaZechrenis, it was Hintus Lutsk. But that's all about. The only thing that was known about it much was that it won the Little League Series in 1993. He said Tom's River, no one heard about it. In Lakewood, they would say, was gehst in Tom's River? Sagoyische Stadt. And so we did what we did. We found the Yid, we put on tefillin, we opened the Hebrew school, we opened this. And then about 6-7 years ago, somehow the floodgates opened, and Yidden started moving from everywhere, and Tom's River became, just for the sake of context, 7 years ago, we were the only shul, the only from Shomer Shabbos shul in Tom's River. Today, on Shabbos, there's at least 60 Shabbos shuls, 60 Shabbos shuls in Tom's River. So I didn't do that. It happened. But what it does is it teaches you that a shliach, a chassid, has to always be prepared for any situation that they might be in. And after this, we're gonna, whoever's quiet will maybe give some real estate tips in Tom's River. I'll call upon him. So just to share one thought. We mentioned before, it's been mentioned that today is Vav Tishrei, and the yahrzeit of Rebbe Chana, 60 years. And the Rebbe taught many times that of the ways to honor Rebbe Chana are the 3 mitzvoyim that are hinted in her name, Chala, Nida, and Adlakas Haner. It's very interesting to note, unrelated to this, but I'm sure it's in your father's writing somewhere, that the Das Kainim says that the siman that Yaakov gave to Rachel and that Rachel gave to Leah to her own detriment was the word Chana and the 3 mitzvahs that are shayachos, that are given to the Nashim Tzidkaniyos. And I find it a big Ashgacha Pratis that today we are being Messiahim, punkt the halachis of Shabbos, and I'm being Messiahim together with my Chaverim, the Hilchas Nida, which is the mitzvah of the Rebbe, and a mitzvah that strengthens the Kedusha and the Tara of the Jewish home. So, I'm going to try to keep things short. I wanted to speak about the concept, how much the Rebbe teaches us about his kashrus, that to connect to the Rebbe is through learning Torah. I'm skipping the story because I'm trying to be short, but I want to begin with a thank you to Leman Yilmedu, to the organization of Leman Yilmedu and the people behind it for creating the tools and the kelim. For every single one of us to delve into Limud HaTorah, as Rabbi Willow mentioned before, HaSmicha has to be b'chol koichai. And these people have put in all the koiches, all the stops, with the Rabbanim, with the Magidi Shiurim, with the booklets and the tools, to einem in development Limud HaTorah in such a beautiful way. They have they began a revolution. They didn't know what they were beginning, and they have no idea how far this revolution is yet to go. Today, people often speak about a search for identity, being centered, being emotionally balanced. The Rebbe teaches in the Sichos on the saying of Rabbi Yosef, "I lav ha'yeme de kagarim kamo Yosef iki b'shuka." Says Rashi, "Shelomadeti Torah v'nisrei mamti." So the Rebbe explains in a Sicha very beautifully what happened on Hayom, what happened on Matan Torah. But when it comes to the words Shelomadeti Torah v'nisrei mamti, the Rebbe says that when a Yid learns Torah, not only does it elevate the Gavra, but it elevates the Chefetz Shebe Gavra. The entire person becomes changed, becomes transformed, becomes elevated. Above the daily grind, above the influences of the world around him, above the challenges of life. Thank you very much. When I heard about this course, I started not only to think about the tayeles that it'll have in my shlichus, to be able to learn, to answer shilas, to help people. At the same time, I wondered to myself, how will I be able to do this? I'm not such a disciplined person. For those who know me, they know that zitzfleisch is not my best quality. How will I tie myself down every week at a specific time? Especially as was mentioned by Rucha, it's during bedtime. And yes, even though it was said by others, I do want to give a Yasher Koyach to my Eishes Chayil and to all of the Neshois Chayil for giving me the support and giving me the time, especially in the most hectic part of the day. But I wondered, how will I be able to do this? After sitting in one shir, 2 shiurim, I realized that I pashut enjoy this. I could literally rise above everything that's going on in my life and enter into a bubble of serenity, of tranquility, and pashut learn Torah. After those few times, I pashut would look forward to that time slot when I could shut the world out and pashut sit and learn. My children knew that these times were sacred. Those who live out of town, who go to school out of town, knew that a Tuesday from 8 to 10, you can't call Tati. And if they did, if they forget, they would send me a text, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, you're in the middle of learning." At first they laughed at me. Tati's going to school, Tati's taking tests. But right away they saw that this is something that was serious. And because of that, it changes their perspective. My Tati is learning Torah. I know it's on the billboards and everything, but it's not just a billboard. It's actually happening in real life. One night, at the end of the shir, I came downstairs from my office, and below my office is the shul, and there was a yid sitting and learning there. You know, it's time from a yid, the Ben Torah. So he heard from upstairs a conversation. So he asked me what's going on up there. So I said, I'm taking a shir. And what's the topic? And we started talking. We stood for 40 minutes. I was like me on the way out with my shirt out, no hat and jacket, just standing there. It's my office. You know, and he's standing over there, and we're chazering over the shir that we just did. The guy was Pashat Nispol. He's a Ben Torah, but he's also a Lekanter kind of guy. So he wants to see, do I really know? And Baruch Hashem, I was listening, I was taking notes, and there was a big Kiddush Hashem. Later, Shabbos, he was repeating this to the other people by Mechamaydiv. The Rav is actually learning, you know. So it was a very nice Kiddush Hashem. The answer to Rabbi Wilhelm's question, how do you find time? The answer is very simple. When you have a geschmack in it, when you believe in it, when you know that it's a chelik of your life, and your kids have to see that it's a chelik of your life. When you realize the importance of Limud HaTorah, it's not even a question anymore. It becomes second nature and first nature. And the Kan HaMokaim, if I talk about how much I enjoy it, I must take this opportunity, though it was said already, but I have to say it myself, to thank our very chashva teacher, a Rav in this Kehillah, who has revolutionized this community in the areas of Kedusha and Tara, who has an incredible, a comprehensive Yediyah Satira, and an amazing way of conveying and explaining the concepts from the Sugya and the Gemara to the most contemporary, practical Shaila, with humility, with clarity, with precision. Eshekayach Harav Tuvia Kasimov. I believe that I speak for all of my chavedim in the group, and I thank my chavedim for being part of the group, for creating sometimes a rischide reisa, a geschmack, an argument, a discussion. And I believe that all of my chavedim and all of his talmidim who have gained so much of him from him will join me in telling him how truly grateful we are. Al Shalpoyel Bosi, Ashreichem to all of you who are learning, who have learned, will continue to learn. Those of you who are listening on the online or will hear this afterwards, or those of you who are here to support and celebrate with a family member, whether you're the father or the Zayda, or you're the son or the child or the Einakol, it's not too late for you. You could join one of the maslulim, one of the courses. It'll bring joy into your life. It'll bring simcha satayra and simcha sachayim into your home. And the b'schus ha-Torah, may we be zeicha to go out of galus and to hear Torah chadasha from Mashiach Tzidkenu v'meheidav yameinu mamash. Amen.